Happy Saturday. I hope all of you are very well. Let's ask the angels, saints, spirit guides, and ancestors into our energy for divine guidance, flow, abundance, and messages for our highest and greatest good. Let's ask Archangel Michael to assist us with transmuting energy from stagnant to flowing in abundance, from faith to knowingness, as energy is love, and so it is. All right, so the deck I thought I would use to start with is the Starseed Oracle deck. So we'll start with that. Happy equinox if you're tuned into that. Lots of energy today. I don't know if you're picking up on that. I am. All right. Let's see. Here we go. Oh, the void. All right. The in-between. This is, yeah, I mean, today kind of is the epitome of the void in one way or another, in the sense of like we're in the in-between, right? Like an equinox is equal daytime, equal nighttime, right? Equal, and so you're kind of like in the in-between. It says stop, embrace winter, great cosmic womb. Okay, so yeah, this is like harvest time, that sort of thing. So that's pretty cool. Some of you might be kind of in that like waiting for your ships to come in kind of energy, right? You've put in all this hard work and you're waiting to kind of see those results. Yeah, some of you might be very like homesick, longing for the stars. It's like you're here on earth but you're not of it. You feel like you have this innate calling to the higher realms, and you're missing like your star family. Okay, yeah. Yep, and you understand that you're here in Earth School, okay? We have life lessons, slow soul growth, study, and higher learning, okay? And then after that, we have you're not for everyone, okay? You're not supposed to be for everyone. Embrace being weird. Embrace being unique. Embrace the fact that you annoy the shit out of people. And just face your true north, knowing that like it's okay. Like you weren't here to be for everybody, right? Like you understand the reason why you're here. You understand that, you know, you're here to learn specific things and then apply them. And the fact that you're learning these things and you're seeking that higher learning, yeah, you're not going to be for everyone, because not everyone's doing that. There's a lot that are still not awake and they're just going through the motions, okay? And that's their choice. That's their journey and that's their path. And you have a different path, and this is about you owning it, okay? Owning it and trusting it. Yeah, you have star ancestors as well, okay? So this really, and then, you know, see the pyramids there, all right? You're a wise old soul. I mean, look at these ancestors. I don't know if you can see them in this card, right? Look at how far back your soul goes, all right? Hidden secrets, lost wisdom that you are now tapping into, and they're asking for you to look a little deeper, okay? So there might be, you might be called to like watch a lot of Egypt stuff, Lemuria, Pleiades, Arcturian, tapping into that energy. You know, maybe there's some guided meditations you can do that kind of can help you tap into this higher information, and kind of, it's almost like, you know, you have all this wisdom and you know you have all this knowledge, but it's like you might be kind of frustrated that you can't access it like you'd like to. One way to access that is through the Akashic. So I'm able to do that. So let me know if you are feeling like you need to kind of connect and get some answers. I can help you do that. Let's see, what's after the star ancestors? it's not time yet. Things are still being woven, okay? All right. Things are still playing out. Like, this is like also part of like the void energy too. It's like, you know, and what they mean by it's not time yet is that there's still things to learn. There's still things to play out. There's like justice being served. So there's balance being restored in the collective. There's a lot of light energy being anchored in right now. And so everything, like, this is like working towards the divine plan. And that's why things are being anchored in. Yeah, look, spontaneous awakenings. We've got the blue flame here. We have activation. We have integration time. So yeah, like I was just saying, there's a lot of energy coming in, and we're working on integrating it. And so there's a lot of like, a lot going on right now. Yeah. Just understand that like you are multifaceted, okay? Like you are an amazing being, very unique, right? Let yourself be seen, okay? Like being your most authentic self, understanding that it's okay not to do what everyone else is doing. And I feel like that's probably the biggest like challenge, right? Is to release the ego of wanting to kind of be like everybody else, right? Because that's how we get like recognition or support or, you know, just that validation, right? And this is asking you to like, no, like that's not where this needs to be. Like, it's about stepping out of all that, right? And owning all of that, understanding that, yeah, you are here for life lessons. What have you learned? Are you reflecting on that? How is that helping and contributing towards your growth? You are being guided to seek higher learning, and to tap into that lost wisdom and knowledge, right, from past lives, as well as understanding that like patience is really key right now as things are being integrated here on Earth. You know, we are part of the ascension process. Many of my, you know, regarding the collective, I would say many of you are going through awakenings. You're going through like releasing karmic debt. You're healing, you're breaking cycles, generational cycles, and you're integrating this high light energy, right, into your physical body. And so that takes time. Like it can't just all happen at once. It would be too much. So just kind of like, you know, be out in nature, kind of just do what you can to kind of ground yourself and understand that like this is a very unique situation. And so it calls for unique beings. All right. And so they're asking for you to step into that and be different, be strong, be unique, be yourself, be your most authentic self, and trust where you are being led. Yeah. Yeah. Surrendering to the alchemy of life. Okay. You are breaking away from who you used to be. This is like ego death energy. This is dark night of the soul energy. This is like transmuting energy as well. Yeah, you're part of a team of souls, okay, that volunteered to be here. All right, so call in support when you're feeling like you're struggling with the alchemy, you're struggling with the transmutation, you're struggling with the healing. Ask for help, ask for assistance. There's support there for you. You're not alone. You're not alone. It literally just came flying out. You may feel like you're in isolation. Many of you were isolated on purpose, okay? So you were called to walk away from people, places, and things so that the divine could work directly with you. Otherwise, you'd still be like intaking all this information from other people, and you wouldn't be able to really like connect with yourself and your higher self and the divine, like your spirit guides. You'd be too distracted. So you might be like missing that physical connection, right, at this time, and that sense of community. But just know that like you're surrounded by your loved ones, you're surrounded by your spirit guides, you're surrounded by your spiritual team, so you're never alone, okay? And that's what they're asking for you to do, is to call on them for support if you feel overwhelmed, okay? If you're feeling like dense, hard energy, they want you to call on them. Yeah, okay. Oh, that's great. You have cosmic ancestors, all right? This is really talking about like going and being grounded, like when you're feeling like you're flying too high or you're feeling really dense, like go outside, go under a tree, sit down and just kind of like take some deep breaths, okay? They want you to share your song, share your story, be your most authentic self, you know, integrating some of the energies through music, right? High vibrational music at that, maybe some meditation music. So kind of like, that's kind of like the whales, like picking up signals, right? Picking up synchronizations, picking up like, you might be like picking up people's thoughts, people's energy. You might be picking up like situations that are playing out. And so just know that like you're a sensitive, all right? This is you kind of like breaking the chains of codependency and having strong boundaries. It's part of one of the life lessons you learned here. You know, you've probably had these gifts since you were a child, and you may have kind of like been called to, you may have pushed them away due to like conditioning and kind of like the trauma that we all experience, but now they're coming back online. All right. And so this is about like healing that inner child, and just kind of like being tender with yourself and understanding that, you know, it's okay to stand in that innocence that might have been robbed from you, through your experiences, but you are that rare gift. Okay. You are that rare gift. They want me to keep going. Okay. Yeah, because you're being called to step into your position, okay? To kind of like let all these things fall, okay? Release them. Your soul gifts and training, they're gonna, when it's time, I know like the one card said, wait, it's not time right now, but when it is, they're gonna be asking you to step into this energy, all right? Which is you know, using your gifts, right? And stepping into that call, that calling, if you will. Yeah, if you need help with like spiritual gifts and talking about it, working through it, like practices, stuff like that, protection, all that kind of stuff, you know, just let me know. We can set up some time. Yeah, you focusing on the big picture, okay? So this is kind of what you're called to do, is you're here for something that is much bigger than what you've ever experienced in this lifetime, or anyone you know has ever experienced in this lifetime, okay? So that's why it's like super important that all of these steps kind of occur the way that they need to occur. This is like Pleiades energy, so I don't know if that resonates with some of you. This is you being that visionary and having this like inspired ideas. And if there's something that comes to you regarding inspired ideas, for right now, hold it to yourself until it's time, okay? And you'll know when that is. All right, we don't want to be sharing things with everybody at this point, okay? Maybe journal about them, vision board them, kind of like go within and ask for clarity and direction on what these visions are. Yeah, you want to water your own garden. Okay, this is like spiritual cleansing energy. This talks about like nourishment, body care, tenderness, and lots of rest. That's what's going on right now, is like for us to kind of replenish ourselves and rest as we are absorbing all this energy that's been going on, so that we can anchor it in, okay? That's why there's like there's not like, hey, it's time to go, let's move, you know what I mean? Like that's why it's because they need us to kind of ground it all right now. Okay, we're absorbing ground. Pulse of the mother, slow down, time in nature. Yeah, they need us to ground this energy in, because you have to realize that we are like as light bodies, right? As light workers, we are like those conduits, okay? We're those channels. We're the ones that are absorbing this light energy, and we have to process it through ourselves and anchor it here. And so as they continue to send this energy cosmically, we're supposed to ground it and ground it and ground it, okay? Yeah. Being very conscientious of what energy is yours and what isn't, and what you should absorb and what you shouldn't absorb. That's also part of what is being learned right now. is for you to identify, okay, I'm feeling wonky and this isn't my energy. And so what to do with that energy, either whether to transmute it or to release it, right? Or not take it on in the first place. Okay, so I feel like there's a lot of that, and that's about being an empath. All right, it's like honing those spiritual gifts, right? Yeah. Okay, we have double mission here. This talks about, like, again, like that light worker starseed, earth angel energy, serve the world by being you, right? So just your presence alone, okay, anchoring in this high vibrational energy, being that you know, clear channel, is why you're here. Okay, many of you are here for a double mission, is to experience earth, but to also help anchor in this high vibrational divine energy, right? Yeah, the great severing. Okay, this really talks about Mars. Okay, anger, conflict, softening to love. So this is about like transmuting that energy into love, transmuting that not just for yourself and those around you, but on a grand scale, right? Big picture. Okay, so we're trying to transmute this energy, okay, because we've all been operating in that energy for far too long, right? The 7-star sisters. Yeah, okay, so this is a really cool card. Look at this. This is like soul tribe energy. Okay, this really talks about birthing creations, like you working in a collective. Okay, like me working with you guys working with me. Like it's a flow, and this is like being in flow and creating new energy from a place of love, and it's like the tapestry of life, right? And expression. Okay, so this is you know, working with others energetically to anchor in and create and transmute energy into love. Okay, and love is the highest frequency. So then we have the messenger, right? Yeah, clearly communicate what you want, like bringing harmony, bringing balance, like you're bringing in two worlds into one. Like this is like anchoring in that beautiful energy. See, that's serious energy. You might be like an oracle, right? You might be able to like eventually like get all this information and just be a very clear channel for the divine. That's for one, like that's for a couple of you. Like a couple of you are actually channels. Yeah, it takes baby steps, right? One step at a time. You will be asked to take action. So following your intuition before it makes sense, like not letting logic take over, right? And just trusting where you're being led. Because this person is like, in this card is like being led somewhere that would be a little scary, and it's about trust. And so again, like you will get the messages you need in order to take the next steps, okay, that you're being called to take. All right. And you're going to be co-creating with the universe, okay? So also know that. Yeah, light body, crystal grid. I mean, this is what you're going to be doing. Okay, transmission and activation. This is you, like, this is go time, all right? This is when you're working with the collective, you're co-creating with the universe, you're getting the messages that you need, you're being guided as to exactly where to go and how to do it, where to do it, and this is you anchoring in that energy when it's go time. I mean, come on. This is fabulous. This is like, they're laying out the plan, they're laying out the sequence. Trust the timing, right? Trust the timing, okay? So this talks about trust the wave you came in on. Time is not running out. Time is an illusion, okay? So don't get caught up in the timeline, okay? Just know that you will be guided along that path. Ooh, and everybody's timeline's a bit different, so there's that too. Let's see. Fall into my arms and surrender. Okay, fall into my arms and surrender, holding the opposites, extremes of life, right? The polarity of life, right? Like knowing that, like, sure, we go through some difficult times, but we also have really amazing ones, and accepting both sides, right? You want me to keep going? Okay. Yep. I'm like, you want me to keep going? I'm like, yep. I'm like, all right. Yeah, because it's about perspective, right? About perspective. None of this matters, right? Zooming out, like looking at the big picture, like our problems, our concerns, our worry are minuscule when you think about the big picture. Okay, everybody has common ground. Like one thing that as humans we all have in common is our experiences and each other, right? We all share connection with one another. We all are born and we all pass on, right? And our souls continue. We all experience life lessons. We all experience joy. We all experience doubt, anger, fear, jealousy, guilt, pain, trauma. We all experience, positivity and happiness and love. So it's about experiencing the gamut of emotions, right? Through experiences with each other. And so that's the perspective, right? Seeing things from a perspective is that we all have something in common, right? We're all having an experience together, just in different scenarios, right? So, what's happening to you, someone else might be experiencing as well. And that kind of like brings you together with people is like what you've experienced, right? And so at the end of the day, none of us are really different, right? When you think about it, like what makes us different and unique, right? That is often used against us is really for us. Okay. And I feel like that's also a perspective that people need to kind of think about, right? Like the religion background and the race background and your social status and your financial status and, your materialism, like none of that matters whatsoever. Okay. Something to think about. All paths will lead you to home. Okay. Look at this. Isn't that cool? All right. Inner authority, like you trusting your intuition, you trusting that you know what you need to know when you know it, and no one can tell you different. Okay, this is about you being that observer. You taking information from over here and information over here, but at the end of the day, you go within for that divine guidance and intuition and direction. Okay, you're not taking on anyone else's problems or ideas unless you feel like you've got alignment with them. Okay, so this really talks about like you trusting you. Because no one knows you better than you know yourself, okay? And you have an entire team supporting you and guiding you and talking to you and working with you. So use them. That's the team you should be getting information from. That's the team you should be working with. Because everybody else has their own path, their own guidance and direction and plans. And so you want to make sure that you understand what you're here to do. You understand why you've experienced what you've experienced thus far. Like, what is that trying to tell you? What is that telling you if it continues to repeat? What is that telling you if, there's something that's new on the horizon that you want to create? And if there's something in the way, what is in the way? Like, what is that blockage? Like, go within to get that information. Okay. Or seek higher guidance, seek counsel through, one of us or through yourself, or use your own cards to kind of figure that stuff out. But there's definitely help with that kind of thing. Okay. Yeah, this is about knowing that you are like so trusted and safe and protected. This really talks about like Horus energy. Okay. So this really talks about like protection, loyalty, safety, and trust. Okay. This is the confirmation card of like trust that you are safe, right? If you want to experience something dark and difficult, then you can think about that and create that in your reality, or you can choose not to, right? That's up to you. We also have the portal. Okay, so this really talks about doors are opening and you decide. Okay, rewards and wild cards. So this is like anything is possible energy. Like you just need to trust and believe. that what you want to experience, you can create, okay? You just need to be at that vibration in order to create it, okay? Wow, I'm going through this whole deck. The Seas of Mintanka, seeing potential. Okay, this is you bringing unconsciousness to light. This is you understanding that, yeah, like there literally is anything is possible. All right, this is you putting that creation out there, but not expecting any type of certain outcome, right? This is like being in flow, okay? Jump in. Look at that big eye. Can you see that eye? It looks like the cosmos, but then when you zoom out, it's a big eye. This is adventure, okay? This is you like being open, being spontaneous, you going with the flow of life, letting things come to you that are for you and your highest and greatest good, and you not limiting yourself, like you not saying no to things out of fear, right? This is you saying yes to change. Because it starts with you, okay? Weight of the world, okay? Letting things go that are not yours, okay? It's not yours to carry, so don't take it on, all right? It's almost like they're asking us to really develop like that filter, right, of energy that comes through. It's like, okay, it's like, what are you using? What criteria are you using to kind of filter that stuff, right? Like, okay, like if you feel an energy come towards you, you know, so what are those questions you're asking? Like, first of all, is this something I need to consider at all? If it's a no, then let it go. If it is something you need to consider, what are you considering? Okay, is it something that is happening now? Is it something that is from the past? Is it something that is something you want to create for yourself moving forward? And kind of like that helps determine like in which you need to act or consider like the emergency or effort of that, right? And then you need to think about, okay, well, what are the things I need to consider about this? Like, is it something that is something that I'm learning at this time? Is it something that I'm experiencing at this time? Is it something that is related to my family, my friends, myself, whatever that is, work? And try to like, again, apply the filters as to like, you know, is this even mine to begin with? You know what I mean? Like just work through like what those filters are for you so that you can establish boundaries, right? Let me give you an example. So for instance, like say at work, right? Like somebody you work with, say you work on a team, right? You're working on a project with a bunch of people or whatever. And, you know, somebody is kind of like, I don't know, kind of like, you know how you have different roles in every team and different personalities, and the way one person would do something is different than the way someone else would do something. And one person is looking at what somebody has done and produced and thinks it's not good enough because it's not where it would be if this person produced it, right? So, you know, it's about like, but is it, you know, what, like someone's perspective on what's good enough is different than somebody else's, right? And because someone else's perception of what's good enough doesn't match up with yours, doesn't mean that what was produced isn't usable, isn't good enough, right? Just because someone's would have done it differently or would have had it organized differently, like that, none of that matters. So it's kind of like looking at it from an objective point of view, saying, is it usable? Is it, you know, was this done the way that they were asked, you know, to accomplish this? Like, does it meet the criteria? Yes. Okay, so then fine. Like, if it wasn't the way you wanted to do it, then that's on you, right? Like, you have to be okay with doing things different than how you would do it, right? And so it's not taking that critical person's energy on and realizing like, I did what I needed to do and it works for me and others, and it's okay if that person feels like, you know, it's not the way they would have done it. They have to kind of get over it, right? They have to kind of get over themselves too, like and so it's kind of like that dynamic in a work relationship or a project where, you will feel that projection energy. There may even be like some back talk or some gossip or criticism about what you produce, but at the end of the day, what is that? Doesn't really say anything about you. Like, you're okay with what you produced, you did what you were asked to do, and because someone on the team feels like they would have done it different or they would have done it better, that is about them, and it's about you choosing not to take that on because it's not yours. Okay, that is something about that person and their ego. Okay, you're not taking on that energy. Okay, so that is you staying sovereign in your energy, realizing like, whatever I produced is enough, and I'm not going to feel otherwise. I'm not going to let someone else influence me to feel otherwise. Right? That's a real life experience right there. That speaks to holding a boundary for yourself, holding a boundary for the energy, letting it go, and knowing that that's not yours, that's someone else's, and you don't need to carry it. That can happen with family, that can happen with whatever. Apply it to whatever situation makes sense for you, but it happens all the time. Learning how to be human in the world, but not of it. Hi, how you doing? Yeah, I feel this every day. It is about like balance, right? When I hear this, I feel like temperance, and I feel the Two of Pentacles, right? Where you're like balancing on one foot, and one foot's in the water, the other foot's on land. Okay, I kind of feel like I am in between two worlds as well. So this really resonates for me. And yeah, it's like, you know, having like, that's part of what we're integrating, that's part of what we're practicing and learning, right? It's not easy. It's not easy. Lifting the veil, like things are being seen, right? Things are being exposed. This is you like questioning everything, right? Everything you've ever been told or shown, or I feel like there's a lot that's coming out. A lot of truths that have been hidden. Anything that isn't aligned with you, you're being asked to let it go. Okay, so this would be like any programming, any beliefs that aren't serving you anymore, any type of like behaviors, coping mechanisms, that type of thing. It's got to go if you're truly going to anchor in all this energy that is very high vibrational. Okay, letting go of the ego. Letting go of the need to get validation from other people, that you are good enough. Like, that is what they're working on with you right now. Let's see here. What do we got next? Soul memories and gifts. Yeah, so this is really talking about like, this is not your first time doing this, okay? It may not have been on this planet. You may have done this on another planet in another lifetime, okay? So I feel like there's also that. What I'm looking at is this, I'm picking up like Lemuria energy here, okay? Or Atlantis energy. So this is about like you understanding that like there might be a little bit of like deja vu for you. This is kind of like you're picking up on energy, like and this is your confirmation if you need it, that you've done this before. Okay, you've gone through and done like a double mission before. Okay, like you've broken cycles, you've healed yourself, and now you are the person who holds that space for others to heal themselves. You may be getting like in your dreams, you may have some like memories of some experiences that you know you didn't have in this lifetime. So there's that as a confirmation for somebody. You might get prophetic dreams, prophetic thoughts, prophetic visions. Okay, if you get any of those, this is confirmation for you that you've done this before and you are on a double mission. Okay, so surrender to the sweetness. All right, look at this is like utopia. Okay, this is you like Venus energy. This is like love. This is like divine feminine, divine masculine energy, anchoring in heaven on earth, because it's something that they co-create with the universe to be in. This is the reality that they want to create, and this is the goal. This is pleasure, joy, make love to life, and so this is what we're trying to anchor in here, right? This also might be something you remember experiencing on on another existence, another dimension. Yeah, many of us have dealt with karmic relationships, okay? This is like the polarity, right? This is soul growth and conflict. Like we grow the most through conflict and change, okay? Like, you know, it really propels us to kind of like take an inner look and take a step back and really do a review, right? And so none of us would change. Nothing would change. Nothing would be created. Nothing new would be created if we didn't have that polarity, okay? So understanding that, and understanding that, like, yeah, there are people that you interact with in your daily life, as well as like family, friends, past relationships that are karmic in nature. And the way I look at karmic energy is that it's an experience. It's almost like an agreement to teach each other something. It's some sort of like a contract, okay? There are soul contracts where like you agree that I'm going to teach you this and you're going to teach me that. Sometimes you both learn the same lesson, but in a different way with different people and experiences. So if you think about like if you were in a relationship with somebody and it went karmic, or it was karmic, just to kind of like for the sake of time. And so like you learned a lesson about self-love and value, right? And then you move on from that relationship. And then this person who you were with, who taught you this lesson, goes and is with somebody else. And so that person that they go to teaches that lesson to them as well. But just, again, different scenario, different experience, different person, but the same lesson, okay? So it's kind of like, if you can see it that way, that's the big picture, okay? And as a result, like you would have settled and continued to not have boundaries. You would have continued to experience things over and over and over again. And, you know, you wouldn't have changed or evolved as a human. So, you know, we have these experiences for the purpose of evolving and learning. Okay. What else do we have? Force, don't follow. Yeah, you're being called to go on a new path. You're being called to like do things different. Be your own leader, be your own mentor. You are that like lone wolf, right? Like the lone wolf is doing their own thing and surviving and thriving on their own until they meet a pack that is suitable, right? A pack that they can collaborate with and be with, right? Like right now you're that lone wolf and you're being called to do something on your own, right? You're being called to be that leader that you wish you had. Okay. So it's time to step out of that comfort zone and do it, and do the darn thing. Do it different. You're being called to do it different. You didn't experience all of this to do the same. You experienced all of that to do different. Okay. And you agreed to do it different. You came here on earth for this experience, and you agreed to these contracts with these people, with these experiences, with these lessons, so that you could do different. So you could be that leader, okay? So I know sometimes that's hard to hear, but it's the truth. Your life is a canvas. Exactly. Like this is the ability to just totally create what you want in your reality. It's like you freeing yourself, okay, from what you needed to free from finally. And that's you being that leader, right? Like you no longer holding on to things or letting people control your outcome. You are now in control. You are now the boss. And so now you are the artist. That canvas is blank and you literally can create whatever you'd like. And this is you having that accountability. Like you are now you understand that you are responsible and accountable for what you create for yourself. Okay. And now you learn, like, karmically, like, you know that, like, if you are doing a certain thing, like what you put out there, you now will receive back. And so now you understand how the energy works. Now you understand how to create, you know how to manifest, you know how to raise your vibration, you know how to manipulate and transmute energy. So, now you know, now you can use all of this to your benefit. Now you know how powerful You are. You know why you're here now. If you don't, you will soon. Okay? It's like you now question everything, right? You were starting to. Let's see, guys. Yeah, this is also like working through those coping mechanisms, okay? We talked a little bit about that earlier. You know, like how, and again, this kind of plays with the karmic energy too. Like you identifying like where there might have been like some sort of like addiction to something, and kind of releasing those and letting the divine in, right? Letting the divine in and releasing those, the drinking, the smoking, the overeating, the other things, like, you know, if it's like, I don't need to get into all of them. You guys know what I'm talking about. You know that there's a soul plan. We were talking about that. We were talking about soul contracts, okay? So this talks about like the fated life versus the destined life and what you're going to use your free will for, right? You're remembering. This is like, you know, realizing that like the being reborn process, right? Once you go through like the dark night of the soul, you are reborn, right? And so there's a lot of religious scripture about like reincarnation and resurrection and stuff like that. And so, you know, this is kind of speaking to that, like you understanding that this rebirth process is, you know, something that you have ancestral support in doing. Okay, it's happening, you know, keeping that vision regarding the new earth energy. That's why you are here. This is that double mission. And they know that, like, you know, it's a process. It's a multi-step process. You know, just remember that, like, you know, there is a lot of healing going on now. And that's kind of why you're being asked to kind of rest and anchor in and ground and kind of replenish your energy when you're called to, making sure that you are releasing anything that might not be high vibrational regarding the coping mechanisms. Also talking about like devotion, potency, make your life a moving prayer. So this is you connecting to that divine energy, you know, and those decrees and your affirmations and, you know, reminding yourself why you're here, what you're doing, you know, and creating what you'd like to see in your reality. There is energy from the past that, you know, might be feeling, you know, quite defenseless at this time. They may want to right some wrongs. I feel like they're going through the dark night of the soul, like the uprooting process, okay? You know, and again, like the contracts, if there were, most likely there was contracts, it's closed now. So I feel like, you know, you experienced it first and then they're going to experience it second. As far as that process is concerned, you're supposed to kind of both be each other's catalyst to the lessons. Then we're talking about like ley lines, right? So you may be called to kind of either you're near a ley line or you might be called to go near a ley line when you're activated, and just trust where you're led. So, you know, you might be visiting, traveling. This is you using your free will, okay? Try not to create from experience. Very important. Because that in essence is like micromanaging the universe and trying to have a preset outcome based on what you think should be created. But the thing is that like you're not in control of shit. And there's a better way to get there. And so if you are flowing, open to receiving, and releasing the control energy, then something can come in without any blockages or resistance, okay? So making sure that you are open to whatever is for your highest and greatest good. Then we have Child of the Cosmos, okay? So this really talks about like you have this wisdom and knowledge within you. You have this knowledge of the universe, okay? And so kind of like you need to take time to tap into that, right? If you're filled with distractions and you're doing whatever you can just to fill the time when the most benefit could be for you kind of like being with yourself and kind of tapping in, and you're feeling called to like just rest and relax and maybe meditate or go outside or go to the beach or whatever that is. They're asking for you to kind of tap into that universal energy. And then the last card is the inner earth. Okay, isn't that beautiful? And this really talks about, yes, you will survive this, right? Like, I feel like a lot of us are like, what the fuck? Everything was going to happen the way it's meant to happen. You are very divinely protected and guided and cared for. There will be new solutions and new beginnings, and that's kind of the point. This is like that new earth energy. You know, a lot of things have to crumble and fall, and lessons and truths and exposure is all happening so that, you know, the new can, you know, kind of be brought in, and there's a divine plan, and there's multiple energies that are all working on this collectively. And yes, you have a major part, and just focus on like what is within your realm. Okay, what is within your existence, okay, and making sure whatever is in your existence, you are very conscientious about the mindset around that, because if you're high vibrational, you're going to create from that. Making sure to release the past, because we don't want to create from the past, we want to create from the now. And making sure that you're doing whatever you can to be that clear vessel, right? So making sure like you're not overindulging, you're focused on balance and flow and grounding and spiritual cleansing and journaling and doing whatever you can to kind of just listen and follow where you are led. Okay, so this was fun. I haven't used this deck in like a hot minute, and I hope this was helpful. I hope this gave you guys some insight and perspective on like what's happening. And you know, there's some opportunity for me to help you if you're looking for that guidance. And I hope you have a fabulous weekend. So take care.